When I was in my 30s and we were living in northern Mexico, I used to do quite a bit of rock climbing in the Huasteca Canyon and at the Potrero Chico. Big wall, multi-pitch sport climbing on some of the finest limestone in the world. I just loved getting my feet off the ground and onto the vertical rock face. It was a great way to stay in shape, enjoy the fresh air, and engage with the beauty of God's creation. I made a friend in town, another gringo named Kevin, who was an avid climber too. We did quite a bit of climbing together one summer, and we set our sights on an ambitious route in the Potrero Chico in Hidalgo, Nuevo León. There are hundreds of routes there, but among the most popular and famous is one called Space Boyz. It is almost exactly 1,000 feet high and is divided into 11 pitches or segments of varying lengths. Some bold or foolish free solo climbers have done this route with no rope or harness or gear of any kind. We were not them. We always took every possible safety precaution. So we geared up and set out from our campsite to the base of the wall below the route. It was absolutely beautiful. A vertical path straight up what appeared to be smooth limestone. But upon closer examination, there were plenty of small holds, ledges, bumps, cracks, and holes we could use to move ourselves up the wall. We stretched, checked each other's harnesses, said a prayer, and began our vertical journey. Our feet left the ground at exactly 9 a.m. The rock was still cool to the touch. It was invigorating to be in such a beautiful place, doing something I absolutely loved. I was so excited and delighted. We made great progress and were soon a few hundred feet high. When you are big wall climbing, your whole perspective changes. Your orientation is now vertical. There is nothing behind you, nothing above or below you, only what is right in front of you. That surface is all you have to relate to. The level ground far below is irrelevant to where you are and where you are going. Unlike single-pitch sport climbing, big wall climbing is a journey, a vertical trail that you travel one section at a time. There's really no other experience quite like it. Is it scary? Not really, because you are so focused and concentrating on every move you make to ascend the wall right in front of you. As the hours passed and we ascended higher and higher, so did the temperature. We were climbing in the direct sunlight now, and it was hot. Our water was all gone, and we were both getting tired. Kevin was in pain because of the relentless physical exertion, so he was chomping on ibuprofen like it was candy. After about 7 hours, we had climbed 10 of the 11 pitches and were less than 100 feet from the summit. But I was done. I had had enough. I was exhausted and told Kevin I was ready to go back down. Kevin tried to convince me to give it one last push to the top. We were so close, but it was no use. I had no strength left in my arms or legs to climb any higher. I was close enough to the top to say that I had climbed Space Boyz. Every muscle ached. I was so thirsty, and I didn't care about topping out. All I cared about was getting back down. So we reset our rope system to rappel down and took turns descending the 900+ feet that we had climbed. It was faster going down than going up, but it still required concentration and focus, as well as a lot of effort and exertion pulling rope. But 2 hours later, our feet finally hit the ground. 9 hours on a vertical surface. It was a relief to be back on level ground, but I must confess, my first thought was instant regret. We were so close. Why didn't I finish the route? I could see the summit and it was within my grasp, but I quit. I gave up. I can say I climbed 91% of Space Boyz. What a dubious accomplishment. The greatest satisfaction of a big wall climb is topping out, finishing the route. I never got that satisfaction, that thrill of victory, that sense of accomplishment. I will always regret that I didn't finish. Almost finished doesn't count. It was an uncompleted challenge. I couldn't cross it off my bucket list because I gave up. I failed. I would give anything to live that day over again and make it to the top. But since that will never happen, I get to live with the regret and the disappointment in myself, having almost made it for the rest of my life. How many times do we give up just before the finish line? How many victories do we deny ourselves because we quit when it gets too hard, or we are too tired? Too many. God promises us that His power is made perfect in our weakness. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but He also promises that His grace is sufficient when our own strength is not. If only we could learn how to depend on that grace and finish the race or the climb and never give up, we could live more victorious lives and give God the glory for those sweet victories. Thank you so much for listening to this true story from Memoirs of Mexico. If you enjoyed this story, or if it was a blessing to you, please feel free to like and subscribe to my channel. That would be a blessing to me. I upload a new true story every day. If you like to read, you can also order Memoirs of Mexico in paperback or ebook on Amazon.com. There's a link in the description. Thanks again for listening.